that brings us to the Master of Unlocking podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Unpleasant.
Unpleasant. Always unpleasant.
Yeah,
With
always
just,
unpleasant. On
just
brand.
yeah, on brand, unpleasant, and just a burn mark down your face. So we had left our podcast last time questioning if this was going to be Game of the Year podcast, if we were going to squeeze one in between, and we had no food challenge, but things changed. We were doing a podcast in between, and we had a food challenge. That food challenge was the Arby's fish sandwich.
The Arby's
Hawaiian
King's
fish.
Hawaiian Fish Deluxe Sandwich, I
Yes,
believe,
it
is
was.
the official name.
I believe it was something ridiculous about this.
Let me take a guess. Does
Hmm.
this thing have pineapple on it? I'm not involved in this challenge. Does
Oh,
it have
Oh, you didn't
pineapple
get
on it?
okay.
you didn't get one.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know what we were doing. So I
Oh,
saw a bunch of Arby's in a picture, which is fine.
oh, I
Does
thought
it
you
have
knew.
pineapple?
No, it doesn't.
Damn.
I thought you
All
knew
right.
about this.
I thought that made it Hawaiian. No.
Well,
But carry on.
okay, so Caleb and I, on a whim, decided to go get this Arby's fish sandwich. It is a King's Hawaiian bun. I would
Oh,
assume.
that's what's.
I would assume it was what, probably some sort of bad cod or like weird cod mix of the.
Who knows?
Not really sure what it was. Was it lettuce, tomato, and tartar sauce?
Yep.
And and then always a slice of cheese because
Oh yeah.
fast food fish fillets have cheese on them. Something like that. Those curly fries were good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Arby's curly fries
Ar-
are always great.
Arby's curly fries hit the spot. Uh,
They're on point always.
what were your overall thoughts, Caleb?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the sweetness of the bun kind of overpowers everything else.
Yeah, I don't think I tasted fish at any point when I had that,
Right.
or if I don't know if I was supposed to taste fish either. But it was definitely more on the Hawaiian roll part and tartar sauce front than actual fish.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, it was fine. It was, I mean, it was what, $8 or something for that just a sandwich.
yeah, by the time we got the meals and everything, it was like a $12 meal. It was kind
Yeah.
of out of control. Arby's is expensive in general, so this is not surprising. Although I think we pulled up there, we maybe should have opted for the like 5 regular Arby's for $10. Maybe that should have been our.
Yeah, in retrospect.
In
But
re-
we had to try the new thing.
That's true. We had to try the new thing, and we fought forever trying to figure out where the drive-through really was. We drove around the place like 3 times.
Oh yeah, that was a very awkward parking lot.
It was
But
very strange.
What Arby's was this?
it's by the mall.
Like Tawanda
Yeah,
and
that
Empire. Yeah,
That Arby's. Yeah. Okay. Sure. It looks like it's doesn't even have a parking lot, so I would understand how. And there's a dangerous one way, so you can just drive by Arby's, and then all of a sudden you're stuck. No Arby's. You're just gonna have to eat at the cafeteria at the high school.
yeah. It is right beside the high school. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The KFC, the one by the high school.
Woo!
Yeah, because we went. I had to pick up a game from GameStop. I followed Caleb's suit and got the Ori and the Will of the Wisps for, it was like $15.
Yeah.
So not bad for brand new. I'll just keep it sealed and continue to play my Game Pass version as I feel. But Caleb and I hung out a little bit the other night because we needed to show Caleb NBA 2K21. So that's kind of our transition into that. So Caleb, this was your first go around in 2K21. What were your thoughts on that?
So we played. I wanted to play as the Bulls because I'm a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
So Logan picked an appropriately ranked team and played as the. Who'd you play as? The Magic?
Yeah, I played as the Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was bad basketball.
very bad.
It's cool that you guys are totally hit the nail on the head. The graphics took a huge leap with the console generation. It still did have a little bit of the 2K jank involved with it. Like
Yeah.
instead of you're holding down the turbo button and moving towards the hoop, and the guy stops and does a 3-foot jump shot. Like little stuff like that is still. Like I guess that's just always going to be that way. But for the most part, it played really smooth. It was fun. I don't even remember who won, to be
I
honest.
think you did, oddly enough. I will be the first to say I am not the best 2K player out there, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, I think yeah you ended up winning in the end, if I remember
Yeah.
right. Um,
But
uh,
then I did a one-on-one match of LeBron versus Luca just to see some of the try to experiment with some of the individual moves you can do. And then I did something else, but I don't remember.
it
Oh, I
was
did a
the
fantasy draft.
fantasy draft, the my team fantasy draft, where
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so you ended up.
It seems very good. I'm not going to put a ton of time into a sports game. I just don't do that
Mhm.
typically. But yeah, I would not blame somebody if they did because it seems very well polished.
Yeah, I dive into 2K every few years and kind of do this. So if I'm doing it this year, I probably won't do it for another few years.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I said, yeah, it's a fun game to play with, like having a friend actually like to play with you.
yeah.
Even if you're not great at it or anything else, it's just fun to
Oh,
dick.
we were both pretty bad.
Oh yeah, oh we were both bad, but I
No,
mean
it was
it's
just the teams. In retrospect, it was just the
well there
teams.
were times yeah like we were it was odd because I mean I've been playing the game on a regular basis and we would go and you would be playing as somebody and you get burned on defense, but the teams we were playing as did not rotate over to help at all.
No,
There was
no.
no rotation on defense. It was like, I know these teams are bad, but are they that bad that they don't know how to rotate on defense? Like this is like junior high level bad. Um, so that was just some of the. I think that was probably our biggest issues we had. Were
Yeah, I think you're right. Like some of that could just be that we were playing as bad teams, but also it was kind of just like,
I'm not seeing that when I play it on through my player thing. Like I'm seeing when people, if I miss my defensive assignment or something, there's at least somebody trying to help out. Or if I'm playing on offense and I blow by somebody, somebody's sucking up to help. So I don't know what was going on with that game we played.
yeah,
It was just awkward. So,
I
uh,
think
yeah, go on.
Caleb, you mentioned the jank. Some of that, at least wise in my experience is that some of that goes away the more you learn about the stick on this year's version.
Hmm.
So you'll actually learn how to, instead of hitting, this is like not like you're playing it wrong, so please don't think I'm saying that way.
Hmm.
You'll learn what to do with the stick if you want to go into contact or go to a certain side of a defender's body rather than stopping and awkwardly shooting. Like you start to learn the momentum of the game and the fluid nature of how to use that stick. But the only way to figure that out is by playing it a lot.
Hmm.
yeah,
And so I think that's where where remember the first week I loved the way it looked and how the jump shots, and then the next week I was like, I was blown away by the finishes around the rim, but that only happens with experience. Otherwise, you may not hit the right thing, and if you hit X, it's that it doesn't want you to
Yeah,
or X or square.
yeah.
Sorry, it doesn't want you to use that
Hmm.
button. It's not the fluid way to play the game. But once you start to learn how to, if I flick it this way or flick it that way, you might go into a Euro step, or you might
Hmm.
shield yourself from a defender around the rim, or you might go up with the wrong hand on the wrong side with the wrong foot.
Yeah.
But that only happens with experience,
Jump
yeah.
shooting is good with square.
right?
But if you're going into the hole, like it is better to use the shot stick, and that's where you will get the dunks, you'll get the better finishes and stuff. But it is, like for someone to just pick it up and go, okay, I can just press square to shoot. Like yeah, it is kind of thinks that it doesn't. If you've got a clear path to the basket, you can't just hold down turbo and square and dunk it. Like,
Well, it was like sometimes you can, and sometimes it just kind of
I mean,
refused.
yeah,
So it was a little weird.
It depends on the situation you're in.
hmm,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
On the only way that I feel like that's when like it went off for me. But I went through the tutorials, like I went through the stick training, and then came out of there like, oh, and I went from like getting beat by 20 on the standard difficulty to being on the second from the highest difficulty and winning by 20.
Mhm.
And that's just because the way I played that game is I would just do teams that I hadn't seen before and just kind of tick it off that way. And so I saw a huge improvement when I decided to stop and actually learn how to use the stick. But that's another like it's not a casual thing. It's like okay, I'm going to learn how to do this and try
At,
to
at
have the game
least
teach me.
it didn't have the stuff where like you'd pass to the guy who was standing out of bounds, or like
Yeah, they've
a
gotten
guy who
better
has a
about
jump
that.
hook into the side of the backboard. Like at least that kind of stuff wasn't there,
No
which is
T
an
poses
improvement.
this year. Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing like that.
and I will say with the My Player, I don't know if you guys have ever played the My Player before, but like the things that it would give you bad grades for a lot of times, they have fixed a lot of that stuff where it would be just like, oh, like you left your assignment when all it did was like put you on a defensive switch, or like allow offensive rebound when it wasn't even your guy.
Yeah,
Like it would just penalize you for all kinds of stupid stuff, and don't think I've yet to be penalized for something I didn't really screw up.
bad call for pass. Bad call for pass.
Oh
Bad
well,
call for pass.
yeah, you can get those, but but you know what? It was a bad call for the pass. like I'm like I'm trying to like I'm trying to get somebody to pass it out of a clear path layup. Like yeah, that's not a good idea. like
You're on the other side wing.
hey!
Yeah.
So so yeah, that was so we at least we had fun doing that. So that
Yeah.
was it was a good random night to check that out. Uh, what else did you have this week, Caleb? I forgot. I neglected to study your agenda.
The other thing that I played was Super Meat Boy Forever.
Mm.
Um, so that game isn't very good.
Oh no!
I'm pretty disappointed in it.
Did
And
you
I
like the
think
first one?
I really like the first one a
Okay.
lot. So this game, it feels like it's hard to describe like why I'm disappointed in it, because it feels like a huge missed opportunity. So the things that were just really great about Super Meat Boy, the original game, were number one, the controls. The controls are just absolutely perfect in that game. That's what platformers are based on now. Is does it control as good as Super Meat Boy does? Like it is the standard for controls in a
Mm.
platforming game. And in this game, they decided to do an auto runner. So you don't actually move, it just runs for you. And all you do is hit, jump, or duck. Those are the only
Oh,
two controls in the game.
that's not even the same game at
Right.
all.
Yeah. The other thing that I think really made Super Meat Boy, the original game, stick out in people's minds was it's super hard. It's a really hard game, especially if you dig into like the secret levels and stuff like that. But watching people do speed runs is just incredible.
Mhm.
Like going through the entire game without dying and seeing how fast they can do it. It's just like, whoa, this is insane that somebody's able to do this. And this game is procedurally generated. So
Oh,
you can't really compare one run to another because it's always going to be slightly different. So it's just like, to me, it was just like the two things that really made Super Meat Boy special are just stripped out of this game entirely. And you're left with a thing that's okay, but like, is that really what you wanted out of Super Meat Boy? It wasn't for me.
should this have
It,
been a mobile game?
it feels like maybe that's kind of the way it was designed,
I guess I just think
especially
about
because
runners
even on
being
my
yeah.
PC, it runs like garbage. It runs really poorly. And it's like, for a game of this scope to run that bad, it's like,
You have a
that's pretty disappointing,
you
you
have a
know?
new graphics card.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It seems at odds with itself. There's also I did the first. There's only four worlds to it, and the worlds are all procedurally generated, so they'll be slightly different every time you do them.
Hmm.
But the first world, I got through. Not a whole. I mean, there was one level that I died like 50 times or something, but not a whole lot of trouble with it. The boss was actually pretty fun. I liked doing the boss fight. But then I got into the second world, and all of a sudden there was just this meter that would fill up over my head, and if it filled up all the way, I would die. And I was like, what is even happening here? I have no idea why I'm dying or how to prevent this. And it turns out that, like, I guess you're supposed to be like running through thorns or something. And it's a really like dim background image that you run through. And that's the part where that meter starts filling up.
Hmm.
And it's just really hard to visually determine, like, is this going to be a danger zone or not? And they don't explain it at all. It just kind of happens to you. So it took me a really long time to figure out why I was just randomly dying. It was it was frustrating, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to play this game anymore. This is it's too frustrating, and I feel like I don't have control over it.
Hmm.
So I don't know, just pretty disappointing.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised. I had no idea it was an auto runner.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
are they
like,
doing?
is that like a genre that people are looking for? Like, when was the last auto runner that was successful? Like Temple Run,
Again, a mobile game. That's where I guess I come back to.
Bit Trip
That's
Runner, I guess.
if you're literally pressing two buttons, then that's a mobile game.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's, and I'm not saying that like you can't
You could make
build a game for multiple platforms, but
yeah.
it's just feels way different than the original and just not in the good way.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, they can't all be winners, I guess.
Yeah.
So, well,
Other than that, I did play a couple more hours of Yakuza. I kind of forced myself to sit down with it yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get to the point where I can actually like get past these cutscenes and start playing the game. I think I'm there now. I think I'm finally at that point where I can run around and do side quests and stuff like that. So
yeah, how far is that in?
about 6 or 7 hours, somewhere in that
Far.
range. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in perspective to a normal game, in length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm about, I think I'm 2.5 hours in. I think I've maybe played 10 minutes.
I know. It's rough at the beginning.
Um, I've had my controller go to sleep 3 times where it has said, like, hey,
I say.
press
Yeah.
A. Um, it's probably not a good sign that all I'm doing is just sitting on my phone while this game is going. And the thing is, I understand what's going on. I'm paying attention to what's going on. It's a decent Japanese mob movie, but I just want to play it. That's the problem. If I'm not playing it, I lose interest really quick because I probably have, what do you call that? ADD. Um, I just wish I could play it. That's if there was a way I could fast forward a little bit, understand what was going on, and actually play it. I mean, from what you're telling me, I've got another 4 hours of this.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like it's a lot of world building and a lot of character development at the beginning. It's very front loaded in that way.
Hmm.
And it's all very good stuff.
It's
I think
good,
it's
yeah. It's a.
yeah, I think it's high quality, like
Hmm.
highly produced. It's just like the expectation is different. If I'm holding a controller, I expect to be using that controller,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Hmm.
and I kind of wish that this would have been like a prequel movie or something like that, and then you go into the game. I don't know,
Yeah.
but just set my expectations differently because it's good.
Hmm.
It's just that there's a disconnect for me. It's very high quality, but I feel like I should be doing something else. You know?
Right, which is why I'm on my phone, like just like, oh, what's the news doing? Like I'm kind of like if I it's what I would do if I were watching a TV show or a movie,
Hmm.
and then it's like, oh wait, like what? Why did it stop? And I look up and oh, press A to keep going to turn your controller back on.
I will
Like,
say I just got to the part where I went to the movie theater and I had to do the mini game in the movie theater, Jason. That's so good.
It's the best.
So
That's
Logan,
my favorite part in the game so far. Rams. Oh my
yes,
god, it's so funny.
you go into the movie theater
mm. Okay,
and
well maybe don't tell me if I get caught up to it, right? Or
Okay, I didn't know if you were gonna
Once you get
stop or.
access to the open world,
Mm.
go to the movie theater.
Yeah, yeah.
Google, go to it because it is Caleb the character model, right? From from that moment, the things that are trying to make Casca fall asleep in the artwork, the game's artwork, the position. If you look at it, even look at it on your computer now, like the way they position it, you think that character is like some epic bad guy, and really it's just for it's like they put him on the top because no, this is the silliest character in our game right here. But the way they put him in the character art, you're like, oh, that's if you look at it and you look at the characters, you're like, that's the bad guy. Like he's got a weird mask on, but that's the bad guy, and it's the most absurd character in the game. Yeah, it's that's great. I'm glad you've seen that. That's one of the many gems hidden in that game, but you find it just because of exploring. I'm glad you saw that, Caleb. Oh, that makes me so happy. I didn't do that until recently. I just happened upon that, and oh man, I'm so glad I did. It's so funny. Ah, man. That game is Logan. I wouldn't say it's bad that you're on your phone. I'm always watching another screen while people talk to each other for 55 minutes on it.
Yeah, I mean
Like
that's
that's not that. I mean, it's nothing like the first game is obviously the worst. I think there are some missions that are like pushing 20 25 minutes. Um,
like of
but nothing.
cutscenes.
Hmm.
Well, I
But
would say that's
nothing.
probably 30 on a lot of these.
Yeah, nothing like the beginning though. But then they stack them at the beginning
Hmm.
though. Like it's like this one, then
And
this
then
one,
you run
then
two
this
blocks,
one,
and then there's another one. You
Yeah,
just keep
it's
running.
very much
then
like
this
it's
one.
like yeah. What's supposed to say? What I think I've played 10 minutes because every time I'm only the time I am playing it's less than a minute and I'm on to the next thing. So
I know I'm
Yeah,
repeating myself, but what you put into that game, you get out, and
mhm.
if like, but it's gonna make you invest. Like if you want to see the beauty in that game, you don't have a choice.
like
Like
I'm
you either put it down and don't come back to it, or you sink in like
mhm.
all the way. Like it doesn't let you have it like any other normal mainstream video game. Like it does. There's no mainlining this game. It's not an option. It doesn't let you. It just won't. It's just not. It's not how it's designed. So if you want to see all the great things in the game for yourself, you you gotta jump in with both feet
So
or get the fuck out.
some would say that borrowing from another game. Some would say take your time.
so it's
There you go. That's
uh,
a good. Yeah,
that's I don't know if that's a good gameplay comparison though.
it's
No,
not. But in let's talk game design, perhaps not like game like interactability. You know, from gameplay perspective, they're different.
Yeah, I think in terms of pacing, I would say it's probably more similar to like Metal Gear or even Kingdom Hearts in that way, where you get a lot of cutscenes up front, and then you're kind of moving from cutscene to cutscene, but then eventually you kind of get gradually more into it and more deeper into the combat stuff.
That's where I'm at now. I
hmm
haven't like I'm I'm like going and doing. You know what I mean? I'm playing the game,
yeah,
but
maybe once, yeah, there, because boy, I mean, the fact that I've played 10 minutes and 2.5 hours is that's.
and there's more, man.
Like
So
I say,
like
Metal Gear, and Kingdom Hearts aren't that bad with it. I mean,
There are Kingdom Hearts games that are like that. Kingdom Hearts 2 is like that.
uh, yeah, I haven't played two in a while.
The parts with Roxas at the beginning.
Oh, that is the
Oh,
worst
that
part of
goes
that entire
forever.
series. That entire series. That's why I refuse to replay that game because I hate the
Yeah.
first part of that of Kingdom Hearts 2.
And that's immediately what this kind of reminded me of. It's just like, can I get to the part where I'm playing,
I
please?
think that Roxas part is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, and if you think about what's Kingdom Hearts 2 in length, 25 hours if you're playing it casually, right?
Probably somewhere around there, yeah.
And
Mm.
this is anywhere from 40 to 70.
Mm-hmm.
So like in perspective, like percentage wise, it's probably like on the
It's
same.
yeah. I mean, there's everything has got a ratio, I guess. It's still hard to dedicate that amount of time to getting into a game. That's for sure.
That's what I'm. That's what I mean. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm surprised because I thought I was gonna just check it out for a couple hours and then ship it back, and I've bought it and I'm diving in. But I I didn't think that that was going to be the case. Thought I was
Hmm.
just going to look at it like for academic reasons. But I realized like once you get past all the intro stuff, I was like, oh man, I really like this enough to like it's not going to allow me like if I'm going to continue on this path like there's no game playing it anymore. Like it's got to
Yeah.
be something that I dedicate my gaming time to
Hmm.
because it just won't let you play it any other way. It just won't. And maybe it's one of those games that like its audience plays 3 games a year or whatever. You know what I mean? We were talking about Assassin's Creed in that way
Hmm.
last week.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what they expect. This is my first Yakuza. I know it's very different from traditional Yakuza, but Caleb, have you played another Yakuza game?
I've started like three of them and I always drop
I don't
off.
know if they all this length and they all are they all kind of this way.
Yeah, yeah. This is not a new thing for
I know it's
Yakuza.
this turn based, which is the new thing. That's
Right. The
but
pacing though is
it's
exactly the same.
oh okay. Hmm. All right. Well, I'll be curious to see how far I make it, or before I tap out, or if I continue going. Who knows?
Yeah, if you can try to at least get like midway through chapter 4, I think is the sweet spot. And that's where you can kind of decide if you want to keep going or not.
Okay, because I think I'm midway through chapter two.
I'm still discover like I just today discovered the Dragon Kart, which is in-game Mario Kart. I had no reason to go there until today. It's amazing. it's just so
My favorite part I think
it's
so
so
far
fun.
has been when there's the bat in the he finds his bat for the first time.
Yeah, it's great. Yep.
That's phenomenal.
Yep. Yep. It's pitch perfect.
It's
I
got a lot of good dumb
so
humor in
good.
it.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed the humor in it so far. That's for sure. And
Ichiban's so stupid. He's
he's
so
so
stupid.
stupid.
Especially at the beginning.
Hmm.
Oh, he's so dumb, but you can't help but love him.
Hmm. Oh, speaking of dumb fun, I've played Mortal Kombat Aftermath.
Yeah, talk about stupid.
Dude, that thing. I shouldn't say stupid. It's absurd, and it's
Yes.
so absurd that it's good because they take it so seriously. Uh, I don't. I'm probably about an hour and a half into that story mode. Um, I, I would have started a lot earlier, but that game had weird install things going on. So this was the retail Mortal Kombat Ultimate. I did not have a previous Mortal Kombat installed because this is on my Series X, and it took about 2 hours to install from a
It's a
disc
lot.
version. Like
Yeah.
that's
How
uh,
big is it?
only like 30 gigs.
Oh, really? I thought it would
Yeah,
be larger than that.
so
Oh, that's weird.
it had problems installing because of how many items it was. I think I sent it to you guys. It's 33 items, but then there was a second disc, and then it told me to insert the second disc, but it actually wasn't done with the first disc. So when I put it in the second disc in, it like had a freak out, and then it put tell me to put the first disc back in. So I put the first disc back in, and then it reinstalled 11 over again, like the base game. It reinstalled it, deleted and installed it over again, and then never had me put the disc two back in. I don't even know what disc two is for because you play off the
That's
first disc.
weird.
It was the most bizarre sequence of installing this game of a game I've had. So I don't know if it was an MK11 thing, if something was goofy going on with my Series X. I don't know. But anyway, holy crap, does that game look good though? They,
Oh, really? That's exciting.
oh man, did they
Really?
the cutscenes in Aftermath? They did a lot of nice work with HDR and ray tracing. It looks great. Like I was shocked. I was like wait a minute. Like I know they did a Series X version of this, but yeah, it looks really nice. I was pleasantly
Awesome.
surprised. Fights look about the same, I would say. I mean,
Okay.
it's one of those, unless I had one sitting right in front of me and I was looking at two different screens of one. That game ran well enough on a 1X. So, it always ran at 60 frames per second and always looked nice to begin with. So, I'm having a hard time determining if it looks any better of the fights, but those cutscenes looked great.
I
But
I don't feel like I don't say this because like I feel like oh yeah because you love Mortal Kombat favorite game ever like but I do genuinely I recently just because of the amount of Mortal Kombat I
mm,
consume watching professional play
mm,
I've consumed some 9 and 10 like there's still active
mm,
communities that play those and 9 looks like a 360 era game and 10 doesn't look that great. Like it's kind of surprising. Like it still was on this current generation of systems, and I can't
mm,
remember the launch year, but it doesn't look that great because it's kind of stylized. The characters are definitely different, but
mm.
then I went and watched some MK11, and it's just it's as far as this generation goes, it's one of the
It's one of the better
really
looking
nice
games.
looking, and the
Hmm.
character detail not just in the gross nature of the fatalities and stuff like that, even though that is very like anatomically correct, like it
Hmm.
looks realistic, like it's got the inside of the body pretty much dead
Hmm.
on, but like the realism level in this one is like I think the highest it's ever been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these look like real ass people that
Hmm.
unless they're you're a dragon lady with four arms or
Yeah, unless
whatever.
you're from the Nether Realm, I mean, that's a.
Right. But even down to Melina, like Melina's character, look like
Hmm.
she looks creepy, and then yeah, she shows her teeth, and then it's gross.
Hmm.
But it's a really, really, really nice looking game. But I don't say that very much because I just feel like, oh, of course you think it looks great because you think this is the best thing ever. But I really,
Those
I
MK
continue to
colored
be.
glasses you have on.
I
Hmm.
right. I try not to. I mean, try to use that for other
Hmm.
cards, but that's cool to hear, Logan, because I already think that it looks really good, and it always has been. Even on like 1080 base level
Hmm.
machines, these streams cap out at 1080, 60,
Right.
and I'm still like, I'm really impressed with like the lighting and the way the characters look, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
It's they kind of
good
it
stuff.
just bumps up a little bit more on the Series X
Okay.
version, and it's yeah, it's definitely I'm enjoying my time with it. It pains me to be playing Yakuza and not finishing Aftermath. That's for sure. Like I don't know how long
Yeah.
Aftermath
Well,
is, but like I want to finish it up here, but I also need to do the Yakuza stuff before Friday and also, have a life to live and everything else. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
yeah.
don't sleep.
Okay.
8 hours a day you're wasting.
It's true. Just
God, you guys remember when Stan figured that out on American Dad?
mhm.
I'm watching that episode. I'm like, I totally get it, Stan. Like, he goes from being a cartoon to like, no, dude, I get you. I'm with you, Stan. This isn't funny. This is serious. Look at these 8 hours. You could do anything. He's
Mhm.
playing a video game, even, isn't he? Doesn't he
I
play a
think he
game or
does,
he
yeah.
beats a game or
Mhm.
something? Man, Stan Smith, American icon, genius.
That's for sure.
I'm
All
glad
right.
you're playing that, Logan. It's pretty good. It's outrageous. One thing that I want to mention is
Mm.
I do think it's interesting that they chose to pretty much kill MK11. just, just throw
Yeah,
it
I was
out the
like,
window
yeah,
right away.
it was just kind of like, oh, so time is not a construct anymore. Like, okay, cool. Now you can just do whatever the fuck you want because it's.
It's literally last scene in the game, and then Shang Tsung walks into frame, and he's like, "Wait a second." He's just like, "What?" But like it's that scene. It's the end of the game.
Mhm.
Like they're gonna reboot the trilogy right here, and then Shang's like, "No, just kidding. Hold on, one more thing," and then it just didn't happen.
And just how
That's good
everyone
stuff.
says Chronica. Like,
Chronica.
Chronica. It's
You met Fujin, right? I love how Fujin just hates Shang Tsung so much,
yeah.
like with a burning passion. But they
Mm.
need to work together, and he's just like, sorceress. Like he just hates him so much. Sorcerer. So
I need to
good.
look up too. I think Shiva is Shiva have like a like a famous voice actress.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
feel like the voice sounds familiar. Like it
Hmm.
could be a I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've it could be like a Rosario Dawson or something weird like that. Like I don't know why that's what my first reaction was. I'll have to. And Caleb's on it, so.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
figuring. He's on it.
Hmm.
It's weird to see, especially with Aftermath. Like Shang Tsung carries it right,
Hmm.
but like Fujin,
I,
Mortal Kombat 4, Fujin,
yeah.
You're gonna lean on Fujin. That's
Hmm.
what you're gonna do. Nightwolf.
And
Really? Okay.
because they don't care. Like they can do this
No.
kind of stupid stuff and it's just fine. Like that's why I like Mortal Kombat, just because they lean so heavy into their stupid canon that they can, and it's but they take it so serious. That's what's so great about it. Like if they started making fun of themselves, then I think it wouldn't be fun anymore. Like
However they've done it, it's totally just right.
yeah,
I'm and I'm I still can't believe like Sindel is a
hmm
major character. Shiva, like
hmm
nobody cares about any of these characters. Like if the only thing that would have made it
but
better
I do
was like
now,
if they had Stryker walk in, like it
dude.
would have been like, oh, okay.
Stryker needs to like they need to do something with Stryker. I'm very annoyed that Stryker is still not a thing because
He got
he
the
died in
shaft.
9, right? Or was it 10 that he died in?
I can't remember. Is he in 9?
I
But he's
mean,
not a playable character,
no, he
right?
is in 9. I thought, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I don't remember. I'm not 100% sure, but like,
I'm
I mean, the dumb thing is like, okay, like, how do you really die in Mortal Kombat? Like, you keep, I don't know. It's like supposedly you die, but but no one like the idea of Mortal Kombat was like the fact that if you lose, you die. But then in whatever things you're doing with the story mode, you can't do fatalities. So,
That's the one
So
thing I'd like to see. Like, if they were gonna make a character go away,
mhm.
like they should make him go away. They should finish him off.
Yeah, you should get a true finish him on that.
the voice actor you're looking for is Vanessa Marshall, and she appears to be just like a career
VO person.
voice. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It sounded
But
like
you
a
might
famous
there's
person.
stuff that you might know her from. Apparently, she plays Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn.
Oh, there you
Um,
go. I mean,
Okay,
maybe that's how
she's a
you
very
she's been
recognize
in
bit
her.
Star
part though.
Wars. She's been in like it's just animated show after
Maybe
animated
it's
show.
just a voice that sounds familiar. Yeah. All right. I guess randomly, just because I think we're wrapped up on games this week. Since I have a crap ton of controllers now, of Xbox controllers, my whole entire family and I sat down and played 4-player Overcooked.
Oh no! Do you all hate each other now?
Yeah, we're not doing that again. We had to. Well, I shouldn't say we figured out everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and obviously, a 6-year-old is going to have more weaknesses than others. So she is dishwasher extraordinaire in Overcooked because have either of you played Overcooked before? Okay,
Yes.
Caleb has.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, plates get dirty. Somebody's got to wash them, so you can put plate stuff to send it out. So there you go. So somebody needs to do that because there's the more complex stuff. We
I played 4 player and we all ended up screaming at each other. And I
hmm
was like, we need to turn this off now. This is terrible.
Yep, that game will make you scream it. Yeah, like why are the plates? Put the rice in the pot.
Well,
Why are you taking the pot?
there were 2 people on the team that no matter what they were doing, just held down the turbo button at all times.
hmm
So whenever they went past you, it knocked you off whatever you were doing. And I'm not going back into it.
Friendships were lost.
Never playing that game ever again.
Divorces. I mean, like there was custody battles. Like it was an entire thing.
I wondered what happened to your friend Ted. You know Ted?
hmm
Yeah, you remember Ted Logan? He used to always hang around.
He used to be
Yeah, I'm
around
going
all
to
the time.
see
I guess.
Ted.
Nope, not since the Great
Flying,
Overcooked debacle.
Yeah.
fly into PAX with Ted.
Mhm.
Like I wondered what happened to him. That must be it. Yeah, well, Ted was kind of a bag anyway.
Yeah.
Now that we're
Uh, I also played. I got it through GameFly. I got Family Feud.
Is this a recent version of Family Feud?
Yes, this is
Okay.
a 2020 release of Family Feud.
Does
Goaty.
this need to go on our list of top 41 games of
No.
2020?
So I played one round of it. My wife and I did. Uh, so you think with family, you guys know how Family Feud works. Survey says like, so you literally have to type out the answers.
Hmm.
There are like as you start typing, there are things that'll pop up that will give you like, hey, do you think it's if you start typing CO, it'll think corn, or so it'll give you those options. Um, like so you can click like fast, go up to one of those. And basically, if you start to type something and it's not one of those options, you're probably wrong because those are what the coined phrases are that the person says. Oh, also, Steve Harvey is not the host. Um, it is definitely a British or French version of the game because there are one of the things says like any time that there is a Z like in the English language, what I would call so like organization is always a Z in America. In the UK, it's always an S. Everything like that has an S in it. So it is definitely not from the US. So when questions are being asked, that's not those are not United States people answering those questions. Those are definitely
That'd make it difficult.
that makes things difficult. Uh, Also, like in between like rounds and stuff, you know how like they're essentially the host talks and you go back and forth to like come up to the podium or whatever. There is no skipping that, so the game takes forever. I don't know why. And like I went through the options to see if there was a way to make it speed up or anything to make the game go faster. No, there's not. So yeah, it
Cash
was.
grab.
Yeah, it pretty much sucked. But that's what GameFly is for, to try out really shitty games. So I always like game shows, so I wanted to try it out, and I
You
will.
know what? The only game show video game that I've liked recently,
Hmm.
there's an Apple TV version of Jeopardy. It's
Really?
actually really fun.
Hmm.
So you either have your phone or you have the Apple TV remote,
Mm-hmm.
and you just say whatever the response is into it, like it picks up your voice, and it
Hmm.
actually works out pretty well. The only downside is it's you pay per game. It's like $1 per game of Jeopardy.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Good and bad, right? Like you
yeah.
kind of want a perpetual license, but at the same time, what like if
I,
you play it 20 times
there's like
in your
you
life?
could do like 1 or 2 rounds for free, but then after that it's like $1 each.
At the same time, though, like if you really like it, then that's and you want to play it a lot, I guess that would stink. But if you just want to try it out for like 5 games, $5 is
Yeah,
not bad to drop on. If you played 5 games of Jeopardy, that's what, an hour worth of entertainment. Five
yeah,
bucks. It's not bad. Do you like local multiplayer it or
yeah. Hmm.
ooh that see now
Yeah,
that could be fun to like
yeah. That could maybe we should try that sometime.
we should. I have some neighbors that we play drinking Jeopardy with. I, and I don't even know like so it's a really weird rules because you just play live, and if you answer the question before they do, you bank a drink. If it, I don't know, I'll have to get it. I won't get into the whole thing. Uh, anyway, I think that's all I have for games. Is anything you guys have any other games?
Nope.
All
Oh, I
right.
played. Yeah, did I mention? I played Yakuza. Did I mention that?
Talk
No.
about
Oh,
Mortal
okay.
Kombat
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
There you go. See there. Yeah. I don't know. I definitely have played Mortal Kombat more than 27 hours, but I played Yakuza for 27 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So, Caleb, I'll start with you with your TV shows. So you've got a couple
Oh,
things
before
on.
we're off games,
Oh,
sorry.
oh yes.
I got 2 more pickups that just came in.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Um, again, filling out the top tens of the years,
Hmm.
going back quite a ways for this one,
Hmm.
but it's Shovel Knight.
Oh,
Oh
sure.
yeah. Huh.
And then another one that's back quite a ways, um, Valiant Hearts and Child of Light.
Oh,
Valiant Hearts was on
awesome.
my list, but it comes with Child of Light. It's a double back.
Valiant Hearts is great.
Valiant Hearts
Yep.
is a solid
Man.
game.
So those were both games on my 2014 Game of the Year list that I didn't have. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Got it.
Isn't
not a great one.
isn't the dev of that, isn't there something coming or
Yeah,
out recently, or
they announced it
what
at
am
the
I
Game
thinking of?
Awards.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, sorry.
trying to remember which game it was. I
Okay.
want to
I
say,
just I
was it that Open Roads game?
Is that it? Maybe that is
Could
it.
be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Great game, Valiant Hearts.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, Caleb, I'll let you start talking about Cobra Kai.
Yeah. So Cobra Kai season 3 came out. They moved it up to January 1st. I watched all of it on January 1st. There's 10 episodes and they're all like 20 minutes each, so it's
Oh,
not
okay,
that
that's not
bad.
bad.
Yeah. But it's really good. That show is like perfect for Netflix because it's you just want to keep rolling into the next
Mm.
one. Like you just one ends and you're like, okay, well now I got to know what happens next. I mean, it's never gonna be like highbrow, you know, drama or anything like that. But for what it is, it works really, really well. It just really keeps you like invested in continuing to just let it roll on.
Mm.
Um, so I kind of watched it in two chunks, like 5 episodes at a time, and I wish there were more. I want to know what happens now.
Big cliffhanger.
Yeah, there is a big cliffhanger.
Oh, okay. I not watched that show. I've had multiple people tell me to watch that show. I just
Well, it
haven't got to
started
it.
out on YouTube,
Yeah, that's right.
YouTube Red.
Hmm.
So just know that going in,
Hmm.
set your expectations there. Um, but it is really entertaining.
I think that's something that I'm not surprised that other people in your life have recommended that to you, Logan,
Hmm.
because I feel like you would like it. It's pretty it's pretty good. Caleb's right about the. Do you feel like the quality kind of goes this way or goes up, Caleb,
Oh
after
yeah, yeah.
the YouTube season?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but even though that first season hit or miss in spots, but more hits than misses, and it is also like um I don't know, it's comfort TV or whatever I'm trying to say. What's the best way to put it? Like
Like
just
junk food.
It's
easy, yeah,
popcorn
junk
television
food.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
like there's
yeah, but
popcorn movies,
also
there's popcorn TV.
I don't want to discredit it in a way though because it's the best kind of that. You know,
Yeah.
it's good and
Hmm.
it's genuinely at times will make you laugh out loud and kind of tug on your heartstrings at the same time. Like it's good. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
For the first season, I've only watched the first
Oh, okay.
season, but I'm glad to hear that it continues, Caleb, to just
Yeah,
do its thing.
I think the thing that they struggled with in the first season is finding the balance in time between the adults and the kids. And in season 3, they do a really good job of that.
Mm.
So it works really well.
Got it. Mm. Well,
Toady, 2021.
Maybe.
I know. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
So
as of right now, it is the best TV show of 2021.
I mean, we are 3 days in. I mean, can't get much better than that. So, Jason, you started Homeland.
Yeah, I finished
Oh, you
the final
finished.
season of
Okay.
Homeland. Yeah. I'm glad I saw it to the end. It's definitely that show has the Logan knows this. The third season of that show is really rough. The fourth isn't much better, but actually five, six, seven, and eight,
That
like
was
they're
8.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was eight
Mm.
seasons. They're just like there's a certain threshold of quality that it won't dip below. The
Hmm.
final four seasons are really solid, and you get to see Carrie and Saul's stories end, and so um,
I might dive back into that just to maybe watch, yeah, at least the eighth season. I don't know if I skip six, seven, because I watched it through five.
you could probably there are some important deaths in that time frame
Hmm.
between 6 and 8, so you kind of just want to at least always understand
Mm,
where those characters went and how they went
mm-hmm,
and what they were doing at the time in relationship to Saul and Carrie, you
mm-hmm.
know. Um, and also it's important to understand Saul and Carrie's relationship, like through those seasons,
Yeah.
how it's changed, how it's been torn apart and rebuilt, and you know what I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
typical show stuff. But I it does the Homeland thing where like last the last two episodes, I was just like, what's everybody doing? And not in a way like people are in like violent struggle or like tough situations. It's all like
Mm-hmm.
espionage stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are about a billion different moves being made, and the stakes are super high, and you're nervous for everyone. You know what I mean?
Which is kind
And they're all
of
trying to
yeah.
prevent the bad stuff.
Right, which is kind of why season 3 and 4 kind of got a little rough because they went more toward the violent side versus the espionage side that made season 1 and 2 so good.
I think the TV snobs will really kind of like get defensive about the down 3 and 4 seasons
Mm-hmm.
because they think it's like quote unquote brave to dive into the fallout of the first two seasons. And the fallout is like the very human condition stuff that happens to these
Mm-hmm.
characters and their family members. So like, Carrie's sister, her family, their relationship, Saul's
Mm-hmm.
divorce,
Mm-hmm.
um, and Brody, his family, right?
Yeah.
But it's just not like it becomes a different show for season 3 and 4, and so that's the hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is
That's what always
it is good
confuses me.
TV, but it's not the same show in a
Right.
way.
It's like I'm watching Homeland for Homeland, not for
Yeah,
whatever this is. Yeah.
I watched those first two seasons, and then I heard from you guys and from other people that three is, the low point. So I just decided not to go forward. But that always did kind of it make me a little bit curious. Is like because seasons 1 or 2, there is one question that you're asking the entire time of seasons 1 and 2,
Mm.
and they answer it at the end of season 2. So it's like, where do you even go from here? And it's interesting to know like that they at least they took a swing at it.
And
Mm.
they recover nicely. Like the final 4 seasons of that show are good, and it's definitely A tier TV. It's not that extra tier. It's even, I would say it's even like it's probably a little above like an AMC, probably like at a grade of like the best that FX has to offer, somewhere in there.
Mm.
Not quite like not quite like S tier HBO or even S tier Netflix at times.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like there can be that occasional Netflix show that is just unbelievable.
They put out two or
But
three a
it's
year. Yeah.
right, right amidst the whatever.
The
But it is
garbage.
very
Yeah.
it's
What's the
very
shovelware
good. This isn't
equivalent?
yeah. It's not some like cable network like premium just average show. It's not like a Cinemax show or even like a True Blood. Like it is above those. It is a really 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 good show. And the really interesting thing about season 8, and I told you this, Logan and Caleb,
Mm.
whatever, it's not really that big of a spoiler,
Mm.
but Carrie comes back from being a POW. So
Mm.
she's Brody from season 1,
Mm.
and
Mm.
nobody knows what side she's on. Like it's like holy shit. Like it's the first season of the show again, except
Mm.
Carrie's Brody. Like it
Huh.
is it's crazy. And they do a really good job of like I think no, because when Homeland was at its strongest, viewers were questioning, is he a traitor? No, 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 no. He's not. He's not. He's a good guy. Oh my god, he's a traitor. He's totally a traitor. No, no, he's not. Oh, he's not. And like, and when you're waffling like that, that's when Homeland was really strong. And they do it again this season with the main character, which is really interesting. So yeah, I'm glad I finished that.
Pausing workout.
He's pausing his workout. Caleb.
Somehow
Did you start a workout?
I've been on an hour and 13-minute run.
Oh yeah,
I have
That's
gone
awesome.
0.03 miles.
while sitting in place, that's impressive.
Workout complete.
Good for you.
1
All right.
hour, 13 minutes, 52 seconds. Distance 0.03 miles. Average pace 2,011.32 per mile.
What?
That's pretty funny.
2011 32 what?
I don't know. My average heart rate was 46 throughout that run.
Logan finished a workout outdoor run. His distance was 193 feet. All right, let me reply to this.
Oh,
Something snarky. Oh, here we go. Yep, there you go, Logan. Speedy, and it's got a picture of an animal. I'm not sure what animal that is, but I'm pretty sure it was a slow animal.
okay. I'll wait for it to come across. Oh, here we go. Yep, Jason Link says.
What is that? Is that a cow? What is that?
I think it's a cheetah, technically.
Oh, well, congratulations. You're super fast.
Super fast. Oh my gosh. All right.
What's next for TV?
I guess I will. I finished up Normal People. Uh, so that show, I think Caleb, you said it last time. That show's getting a lot of critical acclaim, but I don't think it's the show that should be getting the critical acclaim. It should be the actors that gets the critical acclaim. The show itself is not that great. It's average at best, but the performances of the two leads are very good. At the same time, it's also I would say that they are having sex in that show for probably 20% of that entire show.
Sounds about right.
Like just full on nudity, which I was very surprised that Hulu has that. Like there is no real like parental lock, and I don't think they have any other shows with like basically hardcore nudity and hardcore sex.
Yeah, Hulu at that point, that's right around the time when Disney Plus is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a hard push to try to say adult content goes to Hulu
here,
and children's content goes to Disney.
Right.
So
and
that's actually not to get too far off, but like that's the problem they ran into when they tried to do the Lizzie McGuire reboot. Was that all the cast wanted it to be a Hulu show, and they wanted it to be a Disney show, and they never met in the.
So oddly enough, they're actually putting an adult section on Disney Plus now.
Yeah, so but that's kind of the reason why I think you saw Normal People when you did, is because it was just during that weird time when they didn't quite know what they were going to do yet.
I'm trying to think of an HBO show even that had this much nudity in it.
Game of Thrones.
Maybe Game of Thrones. Maybe True Blood, actually.
No.
What do you think? No? Okay.
I watched all of True Blood. I mean, this is like... So, Jason, these episodes are 25, 30 minutes long, and each episode probably has at least a 5-minute sex scene in it.
I think you're exaggerating quite a bit there.
I don't know.
Seems like a lot.
There's a lot of sex, yeah.
A lot. Like, it's...
Okay.
Not saying it was bad by any means either. I'm not like being a prude about it. It was more just like, if I go back and add up like how much of the show was just pure sex, like.
Yeah, I think that was kind of where I struggled with it. I think I said this last week too, but it just became pretty cyclical. Like,
yeah.
Okay, well now they're gonna make up and have sex,
and I'm not sure
fight afterwards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the payoff worked for me either. I think that's the other thing. I don't know how I needed the show to end, but it wasn't that.
Yeah. So it really just was a snapshot of two people's lives with no definitive beginning and no definitive end. It was just kind of, here's what happened in these, 10 years or whatever of these two people.
Yeah, I would say it's probably about 10 years of their lives, somewhere around there. So Jason, I can't recommend it to you by any means.
But don't be surprised when you see Emmy nominations for it, because it will.
Right. Yeah. I think you'll see Emmy nominations for the two leads, but
okay.
I can't in good conscience be like, yeah, here, go spend 5 hours of your life watching the show. It's probably closer to 6 hours.
That's one of the things that I really have found as I grow older. Some of the things I really like about TV are that's why I really liked some of the stuff I did this year, because it is more like this is a rough circumstance that happens to real people, or this is a real relationship. This is a, you know what I mean? Like this is a portrayal of normal folks, normal people. There you go.
Hmm.
So I kind of get the appeal there, like of trying to just kind of document what would be like this relationship as people kind of come in and out of their lives. Like that's kind of, I could see why critics would like that. I think that's where some of the best TV is happening right now, but
Hmm.
also if like the overall arc isn't interesting enough, then maybe they'll get awards, and the best in that
Yeah.
category will be something that people are glued to week or
Hmm.
episode by episode. We'll see.
Because her arc is definitely stronger than his. The girl's arc is Marianne, but it's, I don't know. It's just it's such a weird show. I mean, it's a when it says normal people, it's, I mean, they take everybody's stuff up, a few notches. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, mm, wish I could recommend it to
Mhm.
you, but I don't think I can.
It's already it's already cycled with the last Emmys.
Oh, it did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Same as when I was shocked that the
Oh,
plot against America was in this cycle.
oh, that's right. Because Emmys is like September to September, I think. And I think this show came out
Mhm.
in early this year. Did it? Did they
I
get
think it was
nominated
like
for
March
anything?
or April or something.
Yeah.
The lead was nominated as lead
Okay,
actor in a limited series,
Limited series. Yeah. Hmm.
that makes
which, if I
sense.
remember, was a pretty rough category. So,
Yeah. Got it.
okay.
Okay. I also started Schitt's Creek. Finally. I'm almost done with season one. Um,
Push through. Push through.
no, I'm
Talk
not.
about something that's easy to watch too.
I'm not.
I
No,
mean,
I'm
it just
not. I would say I'm not having an issue with season one. I like
Oh,
it a
okay,
lot.
good.
Um, the first episode I wasn't a big fan of, but I was, after the first episode I was good.
Yeah.
Like it was, and yeah, I
Oh
was.
wow. Okay.
I think I took it as a, yep. This first episode, you have to establish everybody, who they are, what they are, and kind of expected that throughout the first season because you guys warned me, but have found most of it pretty entertaining.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. The more human the characters get, the better the
Mhm.
show gets.
My only
And they
problem
start out
is,
as
yeah,
terrible, terrible, vile people.
yeah. My only problem is I watch it before bed, and usually a episode and a half somewhere in, I fall asleep, and not any fault of the show, just tired, or maybe had a little too much to drink, one of the two. Uh, but so, which was a problem because then I'll wake up and then I'll go to turn it on the next night, and I'm like, wait a minute, what episode was I in? And like,
Where am I?
where was I again here? Okay, this is, I think I remember this last thing. So,
Speaking of too much to drink,
uh,
since you have you seen the Catherine O'Hara episode where she does the wine promotion,
yes.
and she just can't get it together. She hasn't acted in years,
Mm,
and so she just gets blasted. Oh my god, it's so funny.
yeah.
Uh,
Gosh, I can't
yeah.
remember the last one.
She's a really great comedic actress, and
Always has
Eugene
been.
Levy is he continues like his character on that show is just like as everyone freaks out around him, like when he freaks out, it is warranted. Otherwise, he's just like steady, hilarious. Just you look at the guy and he's funny. You just look at him and he's hilarious, and he's not doing anything. He's just hilarious.
Hmm.
It's something like his body language just makes me laugh.
Yeah, like that whole that, I mean, I kind of see it as like a character defining episode of the whole thing with the sign in town, of just the, like, the, it was like, what, it was like, what are you being wrong with this? It's his brother helping his sister. Well, that just makes it worse. It's just like,
Caleb, do you remember that? You remember that from season one?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the sign. Ah, so good. And
yeah.
Roland's name, you know.
Hmm.
Hi, Roland shit. Excuse me? Roland shit. Yeah, I'm glad you like that show. It's funny. It's kind of the same kind of thing as like what we're saying about Cobra Kai.
Mhm.
But it's also, I guess when you think about it from like it's pretty. It's not just an average sitcom. Like
No, it
especially as it goes on,
No.
it's pretty special as it
it
goes on.
definitely does hit the more highbrow type of show at a certain point.
Yeah, it's not just a another sitcom. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad sitcoms out there. Caleb can tell you about them all because he watches all of them. But yeah,
I'm
Let
glad
me
you
tell
like
you
that show.
about the
Cool.
Big Show show.
Go ahead. Tell me. Tell me all about it. I'm all ears.
I'm surprised you haven't watched Mr. Iglesias yet. That seems like another bad show.
Yeah, I don't know even know if I've heard of that, to be
It's on
honest.
Netflix. It's Gabriel Iglesias as a
That's
middle
probably
school
why,
teacher.
because I do not like Gabriel Iglesias.
I've never
Oh, is that the
fluffy.
fluffy guy?
Yeah, the fluffy guy.
Eh, yeah. I'm good on him too.
I've just seen it pop up, and I was like, oh, like this looks terrible. I bet Caleb's watched it, and then I looked at your list, and it wasn't on there, so I didn't know what to do. So okay, what else? Jason, you had, and I think you guys each had one more show too, didn't you?
Go ahead, Caleb.
I watched. Okay, so I started out this year by making a list.
Mm.
I looked through the release dates and I narrowed down every scripted English non-children's show that's premiering in January. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it up, but so far I'm one for one. Insomnia was the first one to release. This was on Crackle. If that is any indication of the quality of this show,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's it starts out really cool. It actually starts out kind of like a Danganronpa or a Zero Escape type of premise. So it's these 20 people. They've been kidnapped. They wake up with all they're all tied up to chairs, and a timer starts. And then they're told that they have a watch that they can't take off. They have a contact lens in their eye they can't remove, and they've been injected with poison. And the if you fall asleep, the poison will activate. Or if you try to take off the watch or remove the contact lens, the poison will activate. And the goal is that you have to be the last person alive, and then they'll give you the antidote to the poison. So it's kind of like this game show type of thing. And then they open up the rooms, and there's a car and a gun with one bullet for each of the competitors. So it's just a mad dash for the guns, the cars. People are just getting slaughtered instantly. Like these guns are going off. People are getting headshot. One guy picks it up and shoots himself. Like it just craziness ensues. So there's probably like I don't know 14 people or so left, and that's when they all kind of get in the cars and drive away to their separate points or whatever. And then immediately it goes to like these shady people in a back room watching it on camera and politicians talking in a back room about why like the ethics of this and it's just like okay you guys started out really strong and you didn't understand why people might like that concept and you went into the boring part instantly. It's really poorly acted too once they actually start talking to each other. It's not very good.
I'm trying
um
to find this on IMDb, and there's a lot of things called Insomnia.
yeah, it's
Uh,
also a very generic title, so I don't think a lot of people are going to find it.
uh,
I mean, it's
I
on
immediately thought
Crackle,
of the
so
that's the Pacino
Robin Williams.
Rob Williams movie,
I
right? The
liked that movie.
Alaskan.
Yeah, the thing with Alaska where it was like they had all these days of sunlight and no, yeah, there was like no nighttime for, and he was like investigating. Pacino was investigating a murder involving Robin Williams.
Do you think Logan? Do you think the movie's good, or do you think that over time, you know what I mean? Like over time, do you think it's still good, or were we at a point in time in our lives where like that was good? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think there's a lot of movies that rewatching them 20 to 30 years later are bad by today's standards, but at that point in time were decent movies because
Okay.
just because I mean you look at even if you go back and look at like some of the like movies that were like oh these people were such good actors like actually you know what no they weren't they were good for their time like it's it's very much there's always a thing of like here's where they were in this moment. It's even kind of like games. It's like, how did this movie affect you at this moment or game affect you at that moment in your life? It's so I thought that movie was it was a B
I don't
movie.
know. It
It
was an honest question
Yeah,
though,
it
like
was
because I
yeah.
remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, I
So
remember
I
liking
wonder.
it, but I mean, I guess at the same time, I wouldn't say it was I shouldn't say a B movie. I would have given it a B at that point in time. It's not a B movie because it was a full theatrical release that was a good movie. But yeah, I remember. I think I even went to the theater and saw that. Back in when that was the thing.
Whenever that was, early 2000s maybe.
It was 2002 was the year on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So tonight on
Caleb, go ahead.
tonight on the premiere list, we have Call Me Cat and The Great North, which are both comedies on Fox, and a show called The Watch, which is on BBC America. So we'll see how far into the year I get before I abandon this project. But as of now, it's pretty easy to keep up with. So
You're rolling.
Yep.
You're just flying.
All
Forget
right.
Yakuza. Just focus on this little
Mhm.
project. It's fine.
All right, Jason, you had one other show you watched.
Yeah, so on Showtime, I was compelled to finish Homeland, but then I also checked out The Good Lord Bird, starring Ethan Hawke.
I don't know if I've ever heard
Uh,
of this.
yeah, so it's been received well critically, but like I just didn't have the motivation to watch it until now.
Mm.
I've only watched a couple episodes. It is about it, it's it's about an abolitionist army pre-Civil War in the South that is freeing slaves. Um, it is it's Ethan Hawke is John Brown is the name of his character, historical figure that led a
Mm.
raid on the U.S. Army in West Virginia that ultimately led to the Civil War. It was the powder keg that blew up and sparked the Civil War.
Mhm.
Um, it is a satirical look at this group of misfits
Mhm.
through the eyes of a young boy who is everyone assumes that he's a girl, so he continues to act like a girl, a young female slave. So what this guy is doing, John Brown, is an insane preacher man who runs around murdering slave owners and then lets them go, or they can join his crew, and that's it. That's kind of the premise.
Hmm.
Um, his sole mission is to find slaves and free them at any cost necessary in the name of the Lord. So it sounds heavy. It's not. It's wacky. It's wacky. Ethan Hawke plays a deranged man from history who wants to free slaves. He's a white guy, for the record, obviously. In
Mm.
case you don't know what Ethan
I
Hawke
would
looks like.
I do remember my Ethan Hawke.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen him in anything in a long time, but it's weird. 2 episodes in, I don't know whether I can endorse it or not, but it's at least unique. I haven't watched anything like it this year. It is out there. It does the Fargo thing at the beginning of each episode. This is absolutely true. I think it says that. It says this is absolutely true. Most of these things happened. Is what it says back to back. Um, so I don't know if you're looking for good TV that is very unique. That's probably what this show
Mhm.
is. But I hope to report back when I've digested more of that show. So
Is this is the this is based on a fictional novel called Onion.
Onion, the yeah, because it takes historical reference and then the novel kind of just
Mm.
Fargo's it, for lack of a better description.
Right. That's fair.
The girl boy
Hmm.
is named Onion because when he saves her in a barber shop, her slash he grabs. He thinks everybody in the show thinks he's a boy. Then all of a sudden, this guy calls him a girl, and then he's just a girl permanently.
Why not?
First thing they do when they get back to the camp is he sees an onion. He's hungry, so he eats the onion, and then he walks over. He says, "That was my lucky charm. I've had it for 13 years. I haven't been harmed, maimed, shot, or whatever in 13 years since I've had that onion. And he's like, how could you have an onion for? It was my lucky onion, and so that's how he ate his lucky onion, and so he's now onion
Mm.
for the rest of the show.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep. It's a Bloomhouse show, so it's weird.
All right. Sounds like it. Well, anybody else have anything for the day? Otherwise, we will get ready for Game of the Year this week.
Yeah, I have one more thing.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw what I
Oh,
suggested
yeah, you
earlier
did.
today or
And I have
not.
no idea.
So I'll start.
Okay.
So I suggested that we all make a New Year's resolution, a gaming New Year's resolution.
Mm-hmm.
So mine is pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
My New Year's resolution is to play more indie games. I think the thing that sparked this for me was looking at our list of 41 games that we have
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that every single year we put on a lot of AAA games, even though they never make the cut. So like every year we're putting on the Assassin's Creed and it never makes it. Every year we're putting on Call of Duty and it never makes it. Stuff like that.
It
It's
is Call
like
of Duty every other year, I would say.
once out of like the 6 times we've done this. Okay.
It made it last year, and it made it Advanced Warfare.
Stay
right?
with me.
Okay,
Stay with
damn
me.
it.
So, so what I'm trying to say is, when I look at that list, I see these AAA games that maybe are kind of middle of the pack as far as games in general, but they get a bump just because they happen to be polished, they happen to be high budget.
Mhm.
Whereas I think it might be better for us to reward some games, even if they don't stick with us, even if they don't, if they're not as high of quality, um, reward games that maybe take a stab at something different, or even if they don't stick the landing on it, they went for it. They did something unique. They wanted to do something different.
Mhm.
And the only way to do that is by playing more
Playing 'em and giving 'em
just
a shot.
experimenting more. So that's my resolution, is that hopefully at the end of this year when we make our list, we'll have some stuff on there that's not just like, oh yeah, it was Assassin's Creed again.
I hope there's not another Assassin's Creed this year. Um, is it bad I like yours and I just wanted to take it too?
That's fine. Yeah, especially because like at this point we all have Game Pass. That's one way
Mhm.
we can experience a lot of this stuff. Indie games are generally pretty cheap as it is, and a lot of them have free demos still. So it's
Mhm.
like, even if you take the plunge for $10 and you play it for an hour, like whatever, at least you tried it.
Is Hades considered an indie game?
Yeah, I would say so.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be on.
That'll make a
well, I
list.
shouldn't say on, but we will have to consider that.
That'll at least make
amongst
some
other
personal
games
list.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not saying we don't do that now. I'm just saying
Mhm.
that I think there's more of an opportunity to do that than we generally do. I think.
Do you think, Caleb, are you motivated by lists from this previous year
Well,
in
I
2020?
think one thing for me is, like, take Paradise Killer for instance. Um,
Okay.
I think that game didn't really connect with me on the story level, but it does something so unique and different that I think maybe like maybe it deserves to be mentioned in a podcast over, some of these ho hum open world AAA games that we've played. Um,
Been a couple of those this year.
especially Yeah, especially because like, I mean, if you think about, I know we don't have a huge listener base, but if a listener is, coming to this podcast and they're like, let's check out what they think are the best or the most unique or the things they'd recommend this year, let's see what those are.
Mhm.
We're never going to introduce somebody to, Assassin's Creed or stuff like that. No
Yeah.
one's ever going to be like, oh, I didn't know there was a series called Assassin's Creed. But even if we mention something like Paradise Killer, maybe that would, spark something. I don't know, just something that I thought about a little bit.
I've been looking at Game of the Year list while we were talking, and then we pretty much got mainstream media taste in that regard.
Yeah.
And if you count games like Hades or Spiritfarer, like we have talked about those quite a bit. If those are quote unquote indies, even though the platforms they're on are humongous,
Mm-hmm.
Steam, Switch,
Mm-hmm.
Game Pass, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But we do cover those. But our list of 41 definitely covers everything major that happened this year. Like I mentioned this last week, I couldn't find it, but IGN's Game of the Year is Hades.
Mm-hmm.
GameSpot's is Last of Us. No, sorry, Half-Life Alex. Half-Life Alex. Game Awards was Last of Us.
Polygon is Hades.
Polygon's Hades. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's just a brief snapshot of what the professional media is doing. So I guess, Caleb, what I would say to that is I would hope to continue to broaden my horizons and give more things a chance than I wouldn't have otherwise. And whether that translates into indies or it means that I play a JRPG every 4 years, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only reason I even gameflied Yakuza was because it was on some lists. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you, as the guy who would normally for us play that stuff, hadn't quite dove into it yet. So like maybe I would have played it eventually on your recommendation, but it's just like I hope I will continue to not play the things that I've always been comfortable playing.
Branch out,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah, and maybe to Logan's point, maybe that means that somewhere down the line I don't finish one of the Assassin's Creed games in favor of something else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If it means playing something else that I like, or this year, for example, I have 3 Steam games I own. You know, Hades is one of them. So that was enough to at least wise make me fire up Steam, because it's weird when you think about it, but that game is not on an Xbox or a PlayStation 4 console. Like a Supergiant game that was huge this year is not on those consoles. That's kind of amazing to me when you think about it. Even Pyre was on PS4, right?
Yeah.
So like it just I'm surprised Hades was where it was, and I went and found it. So hopefully, um, I'll continue to at least wise look at those kinds of things, and hopefully they're not like 80-hour commitments like
Yeah.
Yakuza is, because I can't do that every time.
Well, and that's the other part of it too, is like I think I want to try to stop playing games more often. Like check out more, but don't commit to them quite as much. You know what I mean? So like get an hour or two into some indie game and it's cool, but I'm not really enjoying it. Well, I gave it a shot, move on. Instead of really forcing myself to plow through.
I feel like I've done that
I'll
this
have
year. Like I've had to really force myself to just go like, okay, I played 3 hours of Assassin's Creed. I'm not into this. I'm done. Like
Yeah.
I've that's been a combination of just my own time, but I've had to make those tough choices, and I don't even know. Maybe next year, if there's an Assassin's Creed game that comes out next year, I think I might just not even pick it up. Like I felt like I picked it up this year just to say, hey, if you guys want to talk about this at Game of the Year, I can say I played it, but
Yep.
maybe it's not even worth it for me anymore.
Yeah, I think it depends, because Caleb and I are,
Mm.
like we've made choices,
Mm-hmm.
and Assassin's Creed isn't one of them. Maybe we go back
Mm-hmm.
because we like those games. But if this year's Assassin's Creed was special, I think we would have been more loud and proud about
Mm-hmm.
it, and obviously we haven't been. So
What was the last
like
one that was
I
special?
case by case
It's a
basis.
good question.
In my opinion, Syndicate. I feel like Syndicate was very very good. I like Syndicate a lot.
So that
That's
was
the twins. That
Odyssey,
London.
Origins. As it, so
Syndicate.
so
It's
so Syndicate.
it's the pre this trilogy.
So
Yeah,
the yeah, that was because it was Unity, then Syndicate,
I
right?
think so.
Yep.
And then
I
Odyssey
think
or
so.
Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I don't know if there's one I'm missing there, but
Yeah, I really like Syndicate a lot. I think that's the last really good one in my opinion. I don't know about you, Caleb.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, not
Not
Yeah.
Syndicate, yeah.
Yes. Yes. AC Syndicate. Yes. I think I want to be open-minded, but I think that might be less actual gameplay and more lists, or sorry, not lists. Lists are on my mind. Research and curation, maybe for me. Like, that's how I found Yakuza. You know what I mean? Like, I went out and watched some review coverage, and then I read some stuff and saw it was on some end of the year lists, and it started to sound like something I would be into, so I wanted to try it. But that was only through some like personal investment and a little bit of like digging in, and I think I'll continue to do that rather than like. Um, I think Caleb, your approach is good, and maybe we can complement in a good way. You know what I mean? Like you go dabble, and I might like the time spent analyzing whether I'm going to play something maybe more in the future than actually blindly just playing everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hmm.
I think that's the. So I may not play everything or get exposure to everything, Logan, like you were saying, but try to pick my spots better. Maybe is what I'm trying to say, or hopefully not come in with like I'm gonna like this predisposition, but like I've got a good chance of enjoying this. You know what I mean? Like if I had just waited on Cyberpunk, and none of us did, I understand that.
Right.
Not just the three of us, but like the entire world did not wait, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I just waited, like I probably wouldn't have spent like 12 hours or whatever it was there. I would have spent it on something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like balancing, gotta play everything right away, and maybe I don't have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like maybe I can do something else while I'm waiting to see what the real word is on this game because it's got a day one patch, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. But I may be more deliberate in what I play. But try to be open-minded. That just may not be like open-minded, gamefly, everything, try everything. It might be open-minded in a different way. Is what
New
I'm trying to
release,
say.
add to queue, add to queue, add to queue.
Right. right.
Yep. So, okay.
I'll do
Sounds-
that for a day, and then I'll get back to the new release,
Yeah.
in my same old terrible pattern, probably.
Exactly.
Alright, yeah.
I mean, this is like, I'm just gonna go right back to. I mean, next time we talk, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I played another 30 hours of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
How was it? Fine.
It was fine."
I think we're going about this all wrong. I think we need to go back to seeing how many trophies and achievements we can get.
Oh, is that yours?
No.
You're gonna go
I
for
can't
this is the
do
year of the platinum
No.
for Logan.
If Logan had come at us seriously and said that, even if he was joking, Caleb, I would have fallen over. I would have Logan, you would have. I talk about gullible. I would have ate that alive because you were that guy.
We
And so if you said like I'm gonna get back to that, I would have been like, but I would have believed you. I would have.
Yeah.
I really
Fuck it.
would
I'm going right back, diving right back into Family Feud right after this. I'm gonna get all 1,000 in that.
Logan's got his GameFly queue is Hannah Montana
Mhm.
and Avatar, and yeah, we're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Our
Back to those
conversations
days.
drastically shift to, well, I was on, achievements.org the other day, and I was on the forums, and I was, trying to farm with some people, and
Yeah.
I met some guy, he was Norwegian, he seemed all right, and
Hey, that was still one of the best achievement days ever. Was when we all logged on to, what was it, NBA Live 07?
6, I think, but maybe
06.
7. No, 7. I think
Yeah,
you're right.
it was
7.
like had to be a
Yeah,
certain.
six would have been the launch game, and I think that was the one that only had like 5 achievements or something. They were all so
Yeah.
crazy.
And then there was another one like in 07 that was like the day that they were going to shut the servers off. You had to be online with like 1,000 people at once or something.
Oh yeah.
And so everybody got on at like 3 p.m. Central Time on a Sunday, and it was just like everybody logged in and was like, yes! Like it was like gamer community unite that day. That was a proud moment.
It's like, yeah, I'm unapologetically proud of it, but also like, what the fuck were we all doing? Like it was awesome, but it's just like, oh man, there are people out there that still. I'm sorry, we're supposed to be wrapping up, but
I
for
know.
trophy guy, I will never understand trophy guy unless he's always been in the Sony ecosystem,
Mm-hmm.
because like Logan and I were like, where are the trophies? Like, I want trophies. And then by the time they launched, it was like you had given up because your gamer score was already like the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
my
you had already
Xbox
done
gamer
the
score
gamer
was already
score.
there. Yeah.
I totally get trophy guy.
Man.
That makes total sense to me because there is a platinum trophy.
Yeah.
I do like the platinum trophy. Although
Yep.
what I need though is I need to be able to put it in a virtual space and show it off in something that maybe we would call it my home
Your home.
and have people come
Your
and visit
PlayStation
that
home.
place.
Okay.
I'd like to go there. I'd
Yes.
like to create maybe like, not some gross Second Life character or anything, but I'd like to walk into your space and visit it, Logan. Look at your trophy case.
Yeah, I would
maybe
like to
in your
open up an app and wait 15 minutes to connect, and then walk around for 5 minutes till it disconnects again.
And then
Seems great.
And then what I will do is we'll all walk over to the movie theater within this space and only watch the same trailer for a video game and and not even a video game. I'm sorry, the Twilight movie over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like
I
a great
remember
time.
that. I
Oh
remember
wait, I
that.
disconnected again. Hang on, it'll be another 15 minutes, and I'll be back in to watch this trailer.
Oh, and we can't even chat. We just have to like have little text chats above our heads, and everything will be blacked out because nothing makes sense.
I know I'm an idiot, but I thought that was going to be like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I think
I
we
really
all did.
And I need to get we should spend time on the podcast during the next year because I thought about this and I don't know why. Per this conversation, I looked at something around here. I was looking at something and I was like, Jason, you just gotta forgive Sony for the PlayStation 3 area. You gotta get over it. Move on. People, it's the winning platform right now. They're killing it with PS5. Jason, you gotta forgive Sony. And in the back of my head, I'm like, no.
No, that sucked.
No, because I was sure I had not just financially committed, but I was like coming out of the PlayStation 2, I was like, PlayStation 3, sure bet. Like, tattoo it on my forehead. PlayStation 3, champ. Like, I just would have never thought that generation
It had
was
the
going to go that
Spider-Man
way.
font and everything.
So I need to get over that. It's been a long time. When that system launched, a long time ago, almost 20 years ago. I need to get over it. But
the sad thing is that thing is still. I think it weighs more than the PS5, but it's still just not even. It's not even doesn't hold a candle to how big that thing is. The PS5. That thing's a beast. The PS3 60 gig one. That thing weighs a lot.
it's heavy, man. It is a beefy, weighty thing.
What was the first year we did Game of the Year?
2016.
16, yeah, right.
Okay.
Did we do a 15 but wasn't official?
We all made videos, but independently, and you guys weren't on the channel yet.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
that's
was
the
doing
other
achievement
thing we
videos.
could do is we could start working our way backwards. Do a Game of the Year 2015.
Ooh, I like that. Like start going like like in mid-January when we're not gonna have anything to talk about here in a couple weeks. Yeah.
You guys murder somebody with Agent 47? Yeah, all right, let's talk about 2015. Okay, cool.
Yeah, what came out in 2015?
The Witcher, Mortal Kombat 10.
Wait, just The Witcher?
Yeah, The Witcher 3 came out in 2015. MKX came out that year too.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid
Metal
5 came out that year,
And Bloodborne.
which is probably, let's be honest, is probably the winner. If we all made lists that year.
Of what? Of 2015?
Metal Gear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
2015.
I think that was our year that we were. Yeah, I think we just rattled off what our favorite game of the year that was. I don't think we made a top 10. I'm looking at a list here of stuff. Ooh, Batman: Arkham Knight, Bloodborne, Destiny, Downwell, Fallout 4, Her Story, Life is Strange, Rocket League, Splatoon, The Witcher 3, Metal Gear, Yeah.
Pretty good year.
It's not a bad year at all. Why did I think Life is Strange?
Was that not that year? Life is Strange. Was it
Yeah,
the
it was.
following
It
year?
was.
I made a video for
Okay.
2015.
Yeah, I did too. It's on my.
It's on my
personal
personal
though.
channel, but it's not on
Yeah.
the. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to go back to 2014.
I think I did a 2014 video, and actually, if we're going that far back, we should go one more because 2014 was not a good year.
2013 was the year,
Oh my
right?
Exactly.
god.
Yeah.
2013 might destroy us if we tried to do a 2013. Like, I think we'll all spontaneously combust. That was Last of Us, GTA 5, and Bioshock Infinite.
And Tomb Raider.
And Tomb Raider, yeah.
I did a video for the channel, but it was just me.
In 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a 20-minute video. God. What was I doing?
Learn to edit, Jason.
Seriously.
that
It's
was
a-
the first year. We each made a video that year. That's for sure. I do remember that, but it was not part of the channel.
Hotline. I promise. Check this out, guys. The day I posted it. Here's the top 20 games Master Unlocking 2015. Full write-up coming soon. Okay.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
I'll
You
get
get right on that
any
write
day
up.
now. Any day now. So Hotline Miami, Mario Maker, Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight, pretty freaking good. Oh yeah, Tales from the Borderlands was kind of my big surprise that year. Tales from the Borderlands, Until Dawn, number 6.
Ooh.
Halo 5, because I played a lot of multiplayer. Oh, Life is Strange, yeah.
It's also interesting to hear, like, it would be interesting to, like, go back and look at that from the lens of now, because I feel like even my personal list would probably shift around quite a bit.
Yeah, here's my GOTY 2015. I'm trying to see if I'll have to like scrub here. Tomb Raider, or whichever one that Origins one. Mortal Kombat.
The first Tomb Raider?
Mortal Kombat 10, Halo 5, Until Dawn, Mario Maker, Ori and the Blind Forest, Batman Arkham Knight, Life is Strange, and Metal Gear were my top 10.
I have a feeling those would shift around a bit.
For me?
Yeah. And for Jason. I feel like both of yours would shift around a bit too.
It might.
I'm actually still feel pretty good about that.
Really? I
Yeah.
still feel that good about Halo.
That was. I mean, I had it at 7.
In the terms of that year, yes.
Yeah, I think if you go back and look at that year, it may not be that great of a year. I played a lot of the multiplayer of that. That campaign sucked, but I played a lot of
Me too.
multiplayer.
I'm in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just because it's always in the. Even as we look at like our overall list, those are always shifting because like you look back on something or want to play something again, but always in the scope of that year, things are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they change overall for me, I'm finding is I can't get anything past the Persona 5 block over there. Like it's just, yeah, even even that. I guess I would hold in much higher regard than a Halo 5, but I played a shitload of Halo 5 that year, so you know.
Yeah.
But like if you're looking at it from today's lens,
I have
Halo
played
would
Halo
be-
5 in 2020.
wait, say that again?
I have played Halo 5
you have.
multiplayer in
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
If that tells you anything.
And so have I with Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure.
Okay,
And
so maybe
I
that does
played The
hold up more than
Witcher
I thought.
in 2020,
Like,
and
I
it was
think-
my number 1 of 2015.
I think back to Halo 5 and I'm like, I don't remember a damn thing about that game.
That campaign was trash.
Yeah.
It was absolute trash.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to play the multiplayer of it, it should never be anywhere close to anything of it that you would like. I mean, that campaign was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So I do have that really giant collector's edition still up there though, on my shelf. It's a nice collector's edition.
Yeah, it's right over there.
Mm-hmm.
It is, dude. That box is the biggest one by far.
Oh,
Here.
it's like 3 PS5 boxes.
It's massive, man.
What's like the
Jeez.
first generation of games where you guys really started playing games?
The NES era.
No, but like really started playing games.
The NES era.
But I mean like I mean like paid attention to new releases and that sort of thing.
The NES era.
Really?
Yeah, I specifically remember like getting like really excited for like I got up in front of the classroom at a show and tell and talked about how I was going to get the new Ninja Gaiden game.
Okay.
Like that was
I don't. Yeah. Okay. We can't go back that far. But I was gonna say if that was like PS1 or even like before that, then maybe we could just go back to whatever year that was and start there. But we can't go back to NES. That's not gonna work.
No, I think if we just keep working ourselves backwards until it gets to a point where it just doesn't make sense anymore. I bet if we really went back, it would probably go to like 97, 96.
Yeah, probably somewhere in there.
We would have
You wanna
been.
start with 2015. Should I start thinking about that a little bit?
I think we go to 14, right? If we
14?
all did a video for 15.
Let's just two things. Caleb, I want to answer your question. I think realistically for me, it was like Sega, Super Nintendo, but same as Logan. Like I was reading GamePro and like I was like into it. So
Yeah.
even if I couldn't afford a game, I was gonna try to rent it,
Okay.
like a new release. Like I was pretty on it.
Mhm.
At least wise by 16-bit generation. And then I don't know. Let's just all crown Metal Gear 2015, be done with it, and go to 2014. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think
are we
since we
doing?
did, yeah, we did. I guess we didn't do a group game of the year, but we at least did a
But it's that. Easy.
yeah.
Metal Gear, congratulations, Game of the Year 2015. Because factoring in even all of our, it's not my number one. It's
Not
Logan's
my
number
number
one.
one.
Caleb,
Yeah, I don't know. It may not. Maybe do we need to go back
what
and do
is
this now?
yours?
Mine would be Bloodborne
Okay, but then where's Metal Gear on your personal list after that?
2.
Okay.
There you go.
Then yeah.
There you go. It's 2 for me, 2 for you, 1 for Logan. There it is. It's done. That's it. But 2014, let's go. Let's get through 2014 just so we can talk about 2013, which may take at least 4 or 5 podcasts to get
It
through.
might. Yeah, it really might be.
That year was filthy. That year was crazy.
Outside of the top 3, there. I mean, we just nailed the top 3, but I'm trying to remember what else there was. I don't know.
In 2013?
2013.
My God, we need to get
Okay,
through
we need to go to
2020's list.
bed. Okay, let's just plan on. Yeah, let's do 2020. The podcast after that, we're gonna dive into 2014.
Man, this was a
I
good
need to
year.
go hit the bat. What?
Did- what-
2013 was? Yeah.
2013
Okay.
also was Black Flag and Saints Row 4.
Oh shit!
Jeez. Wow. Really?
And Call of Duty Ghosts, guys.
I
Remember that
know,
game?
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Good things to say about that. Yeah. Right.
All right.
I've got to, guys. I got to get back to Kamurocho. I got to hit the batting cages and go do Dragon Kart for a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe have a drink with Adachi-san, and then think about, I don't know, beating up some menacing men in the streets. So I got to do that before I go to bed.
All right.
I gotta go.
Sounds good. All right. This has been it for the Master of Unlocking podcast. We will see you at Game of the Year.